Another few of our hostages were released today from Gaza, and another despicable public relations show was put on by our Islamonazi enemies in Gaza, highlighting once again the ongoing mistreatment and terror they put our hostages through even as they're being released. They have them ascend a stage where masked, armed Hamas terrorists carry out a propaganda photo op, forcing them to stand before the cameras before being and wave before being paraded through a tightly packed screaming mob. Then finally they are shoved into a Red Cross vehicle for transfer to Israel. But Israel did not stay silent in the face of this recurring maltreatment and humiliation of our released hostages, right? We know they're doing horrific things while they're in captivity, even though we can't see. But these scenes, they're doing now for the third time when they release our hostages, celebrating and humiliating us and scaring them to death even while they're being released. The state of Israel retaliated for the maltreatment of its hostages, pausing the release of 100 terrorist prisoners, including 33 serving life sentences. And that's the absolute minimum Israel should be doing, trying to ensure that this spectacle when releasing our hostages finally never happens again for the future releases of those that remain to be released. While it is despicable to think about our enemies celebrating again, thinking they humiliated us, thinking they beat us in this war, with Israel being pressured into this extortion ceasefire deal that forced us to release thousands of barbaric terrorists and to take our forces, our IDF forces, out of Gaza, stick with me because it's time to shift our focus. Take a look at the videos like this coming out of Gaza right now. Look at these Gazans who, after returning to their homes in the north of Gaza, are telling the reporter that their lives are ruined. They have nothing to return to. They saw that their homes are destroyed. There is no water in their community anymore. There is no electricity. That they have no future in the north of Gaza, so they are turning back to southern Gaza, begging for the border with Egypt to be opened so they can leave. They are internalizing on their own that their future is out of Gaza. And make no mistake, that day will come, and hopefully sooner than we realize, including all of the Hamas Islamonazi terrorists, not just the non-combatants who are also Hamas. One day it will be that they will be relocated out of Gaza, as Trump is beginning to speak about and try to put into action. The day will come and Israel will have total control over our ancestral homeland of Gaza, and we will achieve complete victory in this war. Now I want to tell you about Agam Berger, one of the heroic IDF spotters who was released today. While in captivity, it has been told that Agam kept the Sabbath. She refused to eat non-kosher meats and other foods as best as possible. She was an inspiration to her fellow female captives, keeping their spirits high and even braiding their hair to also help keep their spirits high while in captivity. And then after 482 days in Hamas captivity in Gaza, after surviving the horrors of October 7th, the invasion, the massacre, the mass rapings, the kidnapping, the captivity that she was in, she wrote something incredible. On the helicopter back to Israel, with her parents by her side, she picked up a marker and wrote this sign. After everything she went through, she didn't write about revenge, which we deserve and we're going to go after. She didn't write about hate. She didn't write about despair. She wrote, and I'm translating it to English, quote, "I chose a path of faith. I returned in a path of faith. Thank you to all the Jewish people and our heroic IDF soldiers. There is nobody in the world like you," end quote. With that one little sign, after being freed from 482 days of horrendous, evil captivity by Hamas in Gaza, Agam is reminding us about the power of the Jewish people. That is why, despite everything, I'm not worried. Total victory is coming to the Jewish people over our Islamonazi enemies and their allies around the world. We have overcome our enemies for over 2,000 years, and we will overcome them again today. This war does not end until Hamas and every last Islamo-Nazi enemy in our midst is gone and neutered and unable to terrorize us. This war does not end until Israel remains in Gaza forever. This war does not end until Israeli sovereignty is applied in Judea and Samaria. And it does not end until the fake narrative of a so-called Palestinian people and a so-called Palestinian state are thrown into the dustbin of history where they belong. This is not a question of if that will all happen. It's only a question of when that will all happen. So keep your heads up high. Stay strong with faith in God above and with us standing up for truth, justice, morality, the Jewish people and the Jewish state of Israel on the side of good, on the front line fighting evil for the whole freedom-loving world, spreading this information, sharing it with everybody. We got this. Am Yisrael Chai. That's it for another episode of Pulse of Israel here in our eternal and ancestral homeland, the land of Israel, in our beautiful, biblical, and indivisible capital, Jerusalem, since King David's time. If you are not yet a subscriber to our daily, belief-based, inspiring, politically incorrect truth videos from the Pulse of Israel, what are you waiting for? Go to pulseofisrael.com and click to subscribe. And we are a donor-based organization. We need your support. Small donations, big donations. The more money we're able to receive, the more people we're able to reach and inspire them with the truth about Israel and the Jewish people and the freedom-loving world. So every once in a while, click on the donate button on pulseofisrael.com. Shalom, everyone, and thanks for watching.
Pulse of Israel, frontline videos from the Holy Land. Support our work by donating today.